Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about a breaking news in the Wall Street Journal Technology section, which is Japanese bank SoftBank invested $1 billion in satellite startup OneWeb. Let's talk more about that. So, what is OneWeb? OneWeb is a startup which was created in 2012 that aims to provide affordable internet access to billions of people around the world, thanks to satellites. What was the idea of the founders? The founder, Greg Wheeler, idea is that he wants to provide broadband access to all the world, because right now, even if in all the cities in developed countries have this wide, broadband access, over 50% of the world, including rural America, Europe, and Asia, remain without reliable high-speed connectivity. And also in emerging markets, it's even greater because a lot of school and community centers and hospitals don't have any access to the internet. And it is critical for digital government, for health and education, and also for the development of the country. The issue can impact everyone, and he thinks, the founders, that they can provide a solution to solve it. What are the objectives? So their objective is that in early 2018, which is very close, they will launch an initial 10 production satellites, which will become their first production, and 6 months later, they want to begin to full launch a campaign and start providing a low latency broadband access as early as 2019. Also, a more long-term goal would be that in 2022, they want to connect every unconnected school in the world, and by 2027, a goal would be to provide access to a wide range of people around the world, including rural areas, schools, and isolated part of the world. Now let's talk about the technology and what the advantage of it. So the technology will consist of a constellation of 648 satellites that will be circling the Earth. What are the advantages? It's that it will provide a faster connectivity thanks to their satellites that are closer to the Earth, which will allow a better web performance. Also, it will coverage a large part of the world because their satellites will logically interlock with each other to create a coverage footprint over the entire planet. And finally, they want to use terminals, which would be a small, low-cost use terminal that will talk to the satellites in the sky and emit LTE, 3G, and Wi-Fi to the surrounding areas and provide high-speed access for everyone. It will look like this. Okay, so what about the satellites? How will microsatellites made? They will be handcrafted by engineers and produced in mass productions. Also, the OneWeb satellites will have fewer components, will be lighter and easier to manufacture, so it'd be cheaper to launch and cheaper to use. And also their terminals that will provide this high connectivity have an excellent quality, and they will be small and affordable so that it's efficient, so they can operate with any energy, including solar panel, and provide a high coverage directly to cell phones, tablets, laptops, etc. Now let's talk about the founders and the management teams. So first, we have Greg Wheeler, who is this guy. He is the founder and the executive chairman of OneWeb. In 2012, Greg founded OneWeb with a mission of enabling internet access for everyone. And prior to OneWeb, he was in 2007 also the founder of O3B Networks, which raised also approximately $1.3 billion to design and build a satellite constellation to provide fiber quality for telecom operators in the most remote markets around the world. And his startup O3B also launched 12 satellites for now. The second most important guy in the company is Eric Béranger, this guy. We can't see so well. Eric Béranger is the Chief Executive Officer of OneWeb. But let's dip a little bit more into his biography because it's pretty interesting and relevant to know how he ended up here. So let's see, he was graduated in engineering from the École Polytech and Telecom Paris, and he then later became colonel in the public reserve of the French Air Force. Since he started his career, he had held different management positions in engineering, operations and finance at France Telecom, Société Générale, and Matra Marconi Space, that is now Airbus Defence and Space. In 2012, he became CEO of Astrium Satellites and contributed largely to make Earth observation satellites contracts. He was awarded the prestigious Chevalier de la Légion d'honneur for his accomplishments in developing space activities. And finally, in 2014, prior to joining OneWeb, he worked as head of Operation and Quality Space System within the Airbus Defence and Space Division that was created in 2014, and in which his contribution led to the award of the first electric commercial satellites. Now let's talk about the benefits of their offers. So they want to provide an affordable access to the internet for all, but for who? So first they talked about the rural coverage for mobile operators. So OneWeb wants to act as an extension of existing network, not to replace it, because much of the world is already covered by ISPs and mobile operators, high-capacity networks. But OneWeb's small cell terminals and their call network will be fully compatible to theirs, so their partner operators will be able to use their infrastructure with their current customer devices and to provide a better coverage for the customers. So they aim to build, at the end, their goal is to build a neutral network, which means that their services will be able to be used by any ISP or telecommunication provider to extend their network. They'll be compatible and then they will be able to provide in any environment, anywhere in the world, a higher speed connectivity. But their aim also to be used for special occasion, which I mean, for example, natural catastrophes. Like in case of natural catastrophe, they have solutions. So first, they want to provide a global communication in case of infrastructure crisis that will follow natural events such as hurricane, earthquake, etc. So they want to provide an instantly connectivity for refugees. And secondly, they want also to provide an individual extended mobile network, which I mean is that they will install a mobile terminal on the top of any emergency vehicle to provide a 200 meters LTE coverage circle when the usual towers will not work. How does this work? Their terminal will sense weather an individual's operator has coverage or not, and if they don't, it will instantly make their mobile network available. So that will help all those affected by hurricanes, etc., or in the refugees. So, but also for humanitarian workers and medical personnel where and when they need it the most, internet. Another use that can be made from their technology is to improve in-flight connectivity. How to do that? They want to provide a better broadband at 30,000 feet with low latency broadband in order to expand the in-flight connectivity. And to do so, they will also include airtime services such as weather, navigation, and health monitoring of the aircraft within affordable prices for business jet, commercial airlines, and also military aviation customers. Finally, they want to cover poor and isolated areas in the world so that they can provide a better connectivity to health centers, schools, libraries, and homes through their low-cost user terminals that I showed you before, to ensure to every community the tools to drive education, to access to knowledge, and also provide opportunities for local businesses. So that is covered by the global objective to connect every school to the internet by 2022. But within all of this, what about social responsibility? So as a global citizenship in space and on Earth, OneWeb wants to have a responsible use of space. OneWeb, sorry. So they understand that the space is a shared natural resource that have to be protected. So they are committed to prevent debris creation and to respect existing space assets to ensure safe and sustainable space environment for the future. And that will be done via two proposals. So first, they have chosen clean orbits with minimal debris, and also their satellites using their onboard propulsion system are capable of performing maneuvers to steer clear of anything that may come on their way. And that is also thanks to their state-of-the-art onboard GPS sensors that can track measurement, and then OneWeb satellites will know instantly their position within meters. The second proposal to be sustainable is their end-of-life disposal. So when a OneWeb satellite will be near the end of its life, it will deorbit automatically, ensuring that the space around their planets will remain free and clear for future generations. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the investors. So who are the investors? There's a large brand of investors, which made a board of directors of 9 members, including many CEOs of great companies such as Paul Jacobs, executive chairman of Qualcomm Incorporated. But you can also find Richard Branson, this guy, founder of Virgin Group, Thomas Enders, CEO of Airbus Group, and also Ronald Fisher, executive chairman of SoftBank Group International, so the new one in the board of directors that are break the news. He's the one from the Japanese bank, and also the CEOs of OneWeb and the founder. So last thing to conclude, I would say that this startup is among many in the tech industry that is going to change something in people's future lifestyle thanks to innovating solutions. And I feel very thankful to be born in this generation where I can feel that I'm witnessing greatest change in technology that will revolutionize the way we live and we work. There's so many that, such as drones, robots, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, etc. And I feel very excited to know what is waiting for us in the future. Thanks for your attention.